Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the Omega De Ville Chronoscope 4-counter chronograph. A model launched in 2010. The example in my hand was sold in 2011. It's a fascinating example of the weirdness that pervades the De Ville collection through the years. There have been jump hours, there was the Square X2, the original coaxial, the rattrapante, which was a lovely piece, and the 4-counter right here, perhaps the most offbeat. A very distinctive watch, and if you don't want a moon watch and you don't want a Speedmaster, this is the Omega for you. Arguably 41.5 millimeters if you measure it at the bezel. You can see that's the diameter. It's thick. It's 16 millimeters thick, and then 51.6 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a fairly standard 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It's in steel, but it's all matte finished, which is a nice touch. It reduces the impression of monstrosity. It isn't a big polished steel thing. It's actually quite discreet in terms of how it reflects light, though it's not discreet in terms of size. You can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it does fit. It's not thin. But I would actually say this fits on my wrist fine, but if your wrist is smaller than mine, it is not going to fit. So I'll zoom out a little bit, get a better sense of proportion. 16 centimeters circumference, and you are clear to ride. Any smaller, you're going to want to look for another Omega. Now the strap is a robust piece here, surprising. Large and medium rectangular scale. Very expensive cut of the beast here. And you can see that we've got a sort of matte black, maybe I could even describe it as anthracite, between black and gray, kind of like the dial. It's got a little bit of bolstering or stuffing to give it volume, and you can see it has a folded edge, monotone stitch, calfskin on the bottom, factory Omega strap, no crimping, no gouging. We've got a buckle that is, like the watch, mostly brushed and anti-glare. We got a little bit of a polished Omega logo, which I welcome. Twin trigger release, you have to press both of them for it to pop open. It will not open inadvertently. You have a pin and two lobes, and so it inserts through the buckle. It then gets locked under the lobes. You close it all up, and any excess length is hidden under the clasp and the opposite side of the strap, so there's no need for strap minder loops. Those always age and fall off too soon. This watch does not need them. It's a very clean look with that buckle. Case, well, you can see it's a unique combination of fluted and stepped lugs with a little bit of a taper down from the lug to the mid case. This does have roots in 1940s and 50s Omega design, although it's not a direct takeoff of any one model. It is a heritage element, albeit cranked up to 11 in terms of size and prominence here. We've got an interesting combination of polish, satin, and media blast on the crown, and the watch does feature a push-down crown, but it's still 100 meters water resistant, so on a different strap you could swim with it. We have these nicely beveled satin finished pushers. We have a bezel with a little flat plane and then a domed profile, a dial with a sort of ardoise or anthracite metallic sunburst outer portion, and then a polished bezel surrounding an inner dial. And so we have 4 counters. What we've actually got is we've got a day, all the way down at the bottom, a date. We have our running seconds. Then we have chronograph minutes, chronograph hours, and chronograph days up to 7, which is a fascinating and unusual way of building a watch. It's a date, and it's a chronograph, and it is a chronograph designed to run for days. You can see that the hands, I'll do my level best here to show you the hands so they're not obscured by each other. You can see they're brushed for satin finish that, like everything else on the watch, is muted. We have this lovely set of applique indices on the dial, and these are primarily satin finished on their tops, though you can see they're polished on their sides. These are diamond cut and have wonderfully sharp facets to them. We have an applique Omega logo and marquee. Inside, the movement is fundamentally based on a Valjoux 7750, albeit with modified calendar and chronograph readouts, and upgrade to chronometer and coaxial status with an extended power reserve. Although some sources list this as a column wheel, I've seen it with the case back off. It is a cam system. A very crisp one, though. You really feel it, and it satisfies. The tactile impression of the pushers is excellent. Also, It's an oscillating pinion system, so just looking at it, you could be confused and actually mistake this for a vertical clutch. An oscillating pinion is a very small meshing wheel that drives the chronograph center wheel. As a result, it has very little inherent play, and it starts without the jump that characterizes a conventional lateral clutch. It's a much more precise engagement. It's also germane to the 7750 architectures, and this is based on a 7750 architecture. So you get the cam function cycler and then the oscillating pinion style lateral clutch. Chronos on the back, self-explanatory, god of time. Coaxial escapement, indeed it is. It has a 7750 architecture, but it has a coaxial escapement, which is a double impulse tangential friction system envisioned by George Daniels and serialized by Omega. It reduces friction, improves power reserve, reduces maintenance requirements, also helps to improve chronometry because tangential friction is less than the sliding friction of a standard Swiss lever. So we have a 5-position adjustment here. The movement is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It's a 4 Hertz beat rate, so you can capture those eighths of seconds on the dial. And then a 52-hour power reserve, so a substantial upgrade from what you'd find on a standard 7750, which would be more like 42. And then it's free-sprung for more precise adjustment and greater durability against shock. It does have some lume. We'll take a look at that now. Just the hands, but it's there. A lovely and offbeat Omega, and a personal favorite of mine from a wacky period in the history of the long-running De Ville line. So if you want something unusual, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. You can see how that double quickset works for this most unconventional of day-date Omegas.